Hi, I'm going to start with a story. I had my son Corbin when I was 22 years old, and I had no friends that were married, much less having children. And my birth story was I was not treated real well in the hospital, not really respected at all by the doctor or the pediatrician, and so I think that's part of it too. And I really struggled with depression when Corbin was a baby. I don't remember much from when Corbin was a baby. Fast forward 4.5 years, I had Lindy, and knew a lot by then. I was a doula, and I had a doula and a midwife and a home birth, but yet my birth was still traumatizing, and I still struggled with postpartum depression pretty bad. In fact, that's why my husband had a vasectomy, because of how bad my depression is postpartum. And I am only recently realizing that that could be why now my path has led me to this. I'm a midwife, and this potential of opening up a birth center in the area. I think this is all linked, which leads to the question, why a birth center in Post Falls, Idaho? So that story I told, I think, kind of explains a little bit, but I want to tell one more story real quick and then give my first answer. Well, here, we'll give the answer. First answer, because moms need each other and a warm, welcoming place to gather. I interviewed a potential client a couple years ago as a midwife. She had just moved here and was pregnant with her 5th baby, and she was talking about this wonderful place where she had moved from in Nevada. It was this birth center where she would just go and hang out, bring all of her kids, even way past her 6 weeks postpartum. And there was always support groups and workshops and people gathering there. There were doulas there, it sounded like, all the time, childbirth educators, and the midwives and the student midwives. And it was this great community that was an amazing place. And she really found it necessary. And she described this to me, and I said, there's nothing like that here. You won't find that here. She didn't hire me. So I think we need that. That is our number one reason that we need a birth center here. Second reason is what many, I think is the first reason. Because families want, notice I didn't say need, midwives and access to midwifery care. And sometimes they can't do that in home birth, like I'm doing right now, just doing home births in home birth settings. So that's another good reason. Third reason I think is important is because educators, doula trainers, other teachers, they need a place to educate our community and spread the knowledge. So continuing education for doulas and midwives. And then for moms, parenting classes, nutrition, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff. We need places to do those things. Peer review, stuff like that. One more story on this on this clip. When I was a student with Spokane Midwives, I came on call as a student, and was working with Beth. And she said, we had a full day lined up of clinic, full day of appointments. And she said, I just have this, I have this mom who had her baby a couple days ago. And she said, she's having a really hard time breastfeeding, and her husband's gone. And she lives close by, and I just want to scoop her up and bring her and her baby into the birth center. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do that. That's what this is all about, and she can hang out in the birth suite. We could take turns, and we could do clinic and still help out this mom. And it would just help her so much just to be here. If we could just see her in between appointments and support her that way, to bring her here. But Beth didn't feel like we could do it because regulations, Washington, Linda, how she runs the birth center. So we didn't do it. And it just broke my heart. I just felt like we needed And Beth felt like we should do this, and I want a place where we can do that. We can scoop moms up and bring them over when their husbands are gone and they desperately need lactation support, as another example. So here's this video.